All right, wonderful. So, as we're about to talk about positive psychology and performance, right? Before we get into that, I really want to understand, who you are, what's your journey, tell us your story.
Well, sometimes people can see their life divided in two, a before and after. And that happened to me unexpected one morning at 10 in the morning on June 19th, 2013, when my life changed radically. I was arrested.
Mm.
I was at that point the rabbi of a very prestigious congregation in Westchester. I was on top of the world. My congregation was very special. I had, as congregants, CEOs of main companies. I had half of Wall Street, top lawyers at firms in Manhattan. I was a prestigious rabbi, and I began patrolling the highways of New York. What happened is that the congregant of mine was a retired policeman, gave me one of those badges, friend and family badges, and he said, with this badge, you will not have any problems in life. And I was manic, didn't know it. I began patrolling the streets and telling people how to drive. Until one day I showed the badge to a young woman, and she made a phone call, and a minute later I had three patrol cars behind me. And they arrested me. They accused me of impersonating a police officer. Later, I learned that the lady I showed my badge to was the fiancée of a policeman in town. Okay,
Wow.
of all the people I could have shown the badge. And I was arrested 4 times. I was fired from a job. I was hospitalized in a psychiatric ward. I was diagnosed bipolar. And the press, because I was a prestigious rabbi, made a circus out of me, and they called me the road rage rabbi. And that went viral. I was on the front pages of newspapers from Japan to Ireland, although I had not touched anybody or committed any violence, but a rabbi who impersonated a police officer. And my life at that point collapsed. I went to the deepest depression. And for months and months, I was on a couch, on a fetal position, unable to move, in complete darkness and obscurity, until one day I felt a force pulling me out of the couch and moving me towards my office on the first floor. And I went to my office, and on my desk, I found something that changed my life. And I tell you, Althea, I'm not sure how it got there. I saw a yellow folder. I opened it, and I saw the results of a test on positive psychology I had taken a few years before.
Wow.
Yeah, and I read my top strengths: creativity, love of learning,
Hmm.
curiosity, perseverance, and bravery. And something turned inside of me. I said, Alfredo, wow, you have forgotten yourself, who you are. And with those strengths, I went back to school. And with depression, with the court cases, I went to social work school and became a social worker. And I thrived at school. And then after I finished school, I read a study that two-thirds of people are unaware of their top strengths. There is an epidemic of strength blindness. And I was shocked. And I said, wow, look what happened to me. That knowing my strengths took me out of depression and moved me towards fulfillment.